I saw on TikTok on one of those, quick videos that make you want to read a book. Does he fuck her with his gun?
Who? I don't remember. They might have.
Yeah, that's what made me really want to read it like ASAP.
Is that the thing that you really want to broadcast on a podcast, Steph? Is that the information you want the world to know about you? I'm not sure.
I retract that statement. I was held at gunpoint.
Everyone, and welcome to the first episode of 2023 on Romancing the Monsters. Happy New Year. I'm Marge.
Hi, I'm...
When do I say I'm Marge? I'm M.
I'm S, I think.
I'm Seth.
What is this hesitation? Yes.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, not that long, I feel like, because we did record that Smut Mess episode, which was right before Christmas. Which, by the way, if you haven't listened to that yet, if you haven't had the pleasure of listening to that yet, feel free to go and check it out. It was, fun.
It's an experience.
We had some laughs. Anyways, You have that to go and listen to if you haven't already, of course. Also, New Year means...
New Year, new me?
new podcast? No, absolutely not. Same old shit. No, but what I was going to say is, of course, you could always start your year by subscribing to our podcast. No, but for reals, though, it turns out there's a lot more people that listen to this podcast than people that are subscribed. So if you're one of those that keeps on coming every week for some reason but has not subscribed, maybe because you haven't realized that you didn't subscribe yet, feel free to go and do that. Also, while you're on there, you can always leave us a little review or rating. That's also always very encouraging for us to see and keep us going. So yeah, that's your little PSA at the beginning of the episode. Now, what is today's episode, guys?
Best of 2022.
Yay!
Right. And thank God I didn't say it because I was gonna say 2023 again.
Oh my god.
I mean, is it just me though, or does it feel like 2023 has already lasted like a year? I'm just like 2022 was like another life. I don't know what was like the last 2 weeks were really long, which I'm not complaining, but it's just...
No, I agree.
Anyway,
I honestly feel like
forever,
2022 just like blink and you missed it, but then...
Right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm not mad that like 2023 so far is like taking its time, because it's like, I feel like the past couple years were just going way too fast. Anyways, so best of 2023, 2022. Means basically that we gathered a little list of the best things that we've read. A little? Yours are not? Okay. The girls have long lists. I have a little list.
Okay, mine's not that long. I think what happened is that I had series, so I just grouped the books together. So I'll give a general.
Okay, so how many things do you guys have on your list?
Eight. It's not bad.
6, 7, 8.
8?
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
You guys did not
15,
understand the assignment.
16, 17, 18,
This is not like
19,
you telling us everything
20,
you read.
21, 22,
Yes.
23. I think.
I thought 8 was a lot.
We'll still be here tomorrow morning.
You said make a list. I made a list.
I mean, girl, I didn't say tell us everything you read.
She said make a list, not write a
The
novel.
highlights.
But it's
The highlights.
everything that I loved.
Wow, well, you had a great year, clearly. More on that later. But all right. I mean, I have 4.
4?
And no honorable mentions. But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why when it gets to my turn, because I did do things a little different. So you'll see why I don't have a whole lot. But Okay, so since S has the most things, oh, by the way, we also made a little list of things that we're excited about that are releasing this year. So that will be later on in the episode. But first, I feel like S should start because she has the monster list. So go ahead. We're listening.
So this year I dove into Hermione fanfic.
Yeah, you did. That's true.
I dove into the fandom and so a lot of my mentions on this list is Hermione. And then most of these I mentioned in our catch up and chills.
Yeah.
So you can find longer descriptions and reviews on those. Yeah. But
I feel like the past 3 catch up and chills were Hermione
I
heavy
think it
for
was
you.
yeah, nothing but
like
Hermione.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Go and check those out. I think that's where you mentioned most of them.
And I went deeper in describing those fics. But some of the ones that I really loved was Breath Mints and Battle Scars by Onyx and Elm. It's an 8th year fic, post-war, angst, hurt comfort. Love that one. I also read Manacled by Senlin Yu. Another dark fic. It's an alternative universe where Voldemort wins. And it's inspired partly by The Handmaid's Tale, so it gets pretty dark. I also read The Auction, another alternative universe where Voldemort wins. I read this one because of Marge. She read it first and she loved it, so I jumped in.
Spoiler alert, it's on my list.
Yeah. It's a really good fic. It's dark. It has sexual slavery. There's angst, romance, pining, and it's
Seth
good.
needs to read this, okay?
Yeah.
I am saying now, if you read this, Seth, I am ready to reread it just so we can talk about it on the podcast because this feels like unfinished business. I have unfinished business with this fanfic because I read it, I loved it, and then S read it, loved it, and then we never talked about it, and then you would love it, but you haven't read it, and it just something's wrong here, okay? Something's not right.
Okay.
I think you would love it for sure, Seth.
Okay, I have to be in the right mindset again. I don't know. I just haven't been in the mood.
It's everything you would like. You don't need to be in any sort of mindset.
Yeah.
You will fall right into it.
Yeah.
Just trust us.
It's super long though, right?
I mean, it took me a week and a half, I think.
I think we've read longer. I feel right?
Well, I mean, you have.
Yeah.
Cool.
Another fic I read, it's Various Storms and Saints by Viridiana
Yeah.
T. Knight. It's basically Breath Mints and Battle Scars, but in reverse. Really good. Another one is Don't Look Back by Onyx and Elm. This is a 6-year fic where Draco's a werewolf. It's really dark.
This one's getting close to the end, huh?
Yeah.
I've been eyeing it. I'm waiting for her to finish it so I can read it.
Me too. Yeah, I haven't continued. I stopped
Okay.
I haven't continued. But it's a dead dove, do not eat. So I'm expecting it to get darker.
Yeah.
These next 3, they're really sweet. They're sweeter. There's Unexpected by Ampersand. It's a one-night stand, unexpected pregnancy. I don't know if you read this one, Seth. I think you would like it.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I read that one.
Yeah, really good. Then there's The Slytherin Princess by Taylor Ikari. It's a Draco-Mindy romance. It's
okay. A throuple.
Draco, Hermione, and Theo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really good. And then there's Remain Nameless by Hey Jude 19. It's a post-war. It's a friends to lovers. It's more fluffy.
Isn't that one long?
It's long.
Or am I?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's long.
okay.
And it's a healing fic, and it's really sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever mentioned that one.
I don't think
actually.
so.
So do you want to maybe say a bit more about it? Because I feel like all the other ones I've heard you talk about.
And
but
not,
not
yeah,
this one.
this one's not. So this one, it's I think it's a couple years after the war, maybe 8 or 9 years. Everybody's healing from the war. Draco is living in I believe in a Muggle town. He's separated himself from everybody. He just doesn't feel worthy. He's like down in the dumps. He visits a Muggle coffee shop. And his life, that's all he does. He goes to work, he goes to the coffee shop, he goes home, he goes to sleep, and it's just nonstop. The same thing over and over again. Until one day he goes into the coffee shop and he sees Hermione sitting at his favorite table at the coffee shop. And he gets really mad. He's like, this is my area, my moment, my coffee shop. Why is she here? And he goes up to her and he's like, this is my table. I want you to move. And she gets a little defensive. What do you mean this is my coffee shop? I think she invites him to sit down at the table because the coffee shop is full. So he sits down, they have their coffee, but they're like not really talking to each other. And then every day that's how they meet up at the coffee shop. They sit down together and it's like really sweet, and then like slowly start forming a friendship, and they start talking, and they start talking about the past, and then they form a relationship, and then they slowly fall in love, and then they have to work through their I guess he feels like really guilty of like everything he did throughout the war. And he goes to therapy a lot, and he has like really bad like anxiety, and he's just like really like trying to heal, and he just doesn't think that he's worthy of Hermione. But they work through it, and they end up together, and it's really cute.
This is not the one where he has a kid, right? That's A Men of Worth.
A Men.
Is that the title of it? A Men of Worth? I feel like I mix up those two in my head. There's one.
Is
where
it
he has
Measure of a
kid.
Man you're thinking?
Measure of a Man. Yeah.
No. This is like
Okay,
this is
not
completely
that.
different.
Okay.
No.
Have you read that? You haven't
Measure
read
of a Man?
that?
No, not
Like,
yet.
That one is
I heard that
huge.
one is
really long.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
not yet. I don't want to jump into that one yet. One day.
Okay.
But
This year.
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's it for my Hermione. Those are the main ones that I really love and that really stuck with me. Yeah. Okay. The next ones I think I've mentioned in every like catch up and chill. So I'm just gonna say, I finished the Bonds That Tie series, books 4, 5, and 6 by Jay Bree.
Right.
Love that series. Love those characters. The next.
Are you excited for her newest
I am.
series?
Yeah. So I have that on the list of
Yeah,
things
that's
I'm
on my
excited
list too
for 2023 this year, right?
yeah.
And then the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey.
Oh my gosh, that's on my list.
Yeah, it's really good. Serial killer.
I feel like you guys read a lot of like the same books.
Similar ones, huh?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, this one's really good. Lilac by B.B. Reed. It's a rock star reverse harem. Really good as well. And then I read Curse of the God series by Jamin Eve and Jane Washington. It's 5 books, but I've only got to read the first 3. It's a reverse harem. It's pretty funny. We have a clumsy heroine. She's known as a dweller. Let me see if I kind of remember what it's about. She's known as a dweller. She's not known as a god. And she lives among gods. And basically the dwellers are like their slaves, and they have to do like everything the gods want. But somehow she gets involved with like 5 brothers. I think they're all brothers. And then like they slowly like form a bond, a relationship, and then like they fall in love and stuff. But I don't know how it ends, so I need to read the last 2 books. Then I have The Land Where the Sinners Atone by V.F. Mason.
Oh,
I don't know if you read
yeah.
this one, Seth.
No,
No?
it's on my list though.
So this one's about a woman that was wrongly accused for killing the main character's wife, and he spends his like half of his life like trying to get revenge to avenge his wife, and he treats our main girl like really bad. But she was wrongly accused, like it wasn't her fault that she killed someone. And then there's grovel and
Did you find like the grovel? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask. Do you feel like the grovel was good enough? Because I feel like I don't know. I don't know how you come back from that.
And it's pretty bad, like what he does to her, the way he treats her. No, I think there's always room for more grovel. There's always room for, but it's still good. I still liked it.
I think you would like that K-drama. It's kind of old. It's called Secret Love, and it's basically kind of that idea where I think that's his fiance actually dies in a car accident, and the main girl, she takes her like the fault. It was her fiance that was driving, and I think he was drunk, and so she gets arrested for the murder, and yeah, he just tries to make her life shit, and then he obviously falls in love with her.
Oh, I guess it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Plagiarism? Question mark? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, and she had a baby in prison, but I think
Yes, that's how this book is.
I don't know. I don't remember. It was so long ago I watched it. I don't
The
remember
hell?
if she keeps the baby, because I think she was allowed to have the baby for a year, and then she had to give the baby, I don't know where. And so I think she had to find her child again.
Okay, so this one, our main heroine, she's driving a car, and it's one of those smart cars. And then in the other car, I think the woman was walking, actually. She was walking down the street. So somehow her car starts like malfunctioning and like taking over, and she runs over a woman. And that woman I'm sorry, I'm gonna give like the whole like plot and like spoilers and stuff. That woman
skip 2 minutes ahead if you don't want the spoilers.
So she runs over the woman and the woman dies, and the husband finds out, and like he finds out that woman somehow finds out that she was drunk or whatnot, but she wasn't. Like she was completely sober. It wasn't her fault. It was a car. So she goes to jail, and she finds out that she's pregnant. So he gets people from the prison to beat her up really bad. And she ends up having I think she was maybe like 6 months along. I could be wrong, but around there, where she ends up having the baby, but they lied to her and tell her that the baby died. She ended up miscarrying the baby. But what he does, he takes the baby and raises it as his own. So she believes like, okay, like my baby died while I was in prison. But no, he raised the baby and the baby knows him as the dad.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then she ends up getting out because they found out that it wasn't her fault, it was the car. And then there was someone else behind it too.
Elon Musk.
And then she gets out, and then like he like makes her life a living hell, but like he has her like living with him or something.
So he doesn't believe that she didn't kill.
At first, he thinks that she was drunk and that she ended up drunk driving and killed his wife. That's what he believes, and because that's what the report showed or whatnot. But then later on, he finds out that she was actually innocent. So I think because of that, she gets out. And somehow she gets involved with him. And then she finds out that he has a little girl. Yeah, and he kind of has to make up for that.
How do you forgive that? Like, how?
I don't know. It was pretty rough. I don't know. I wouldn't forgive it. Fuck that. Fuck him. I'd take my daughter and leave.
But then the kid doesn't even recognize you as, like, their mother.
No. But I still recommend it. It's so cool. It's the drama. It's still good. The next one is Soul Eater by Lily Mayne. It's a fantasy romance.
Yeah.
Really good. And then I read Good Deeds by Catherine Moon. It's a standalone Instaburn reverse harem with androids.
Oh.
Yeah, this was pretty good. It was a fun read.
What was it about? Did you talk about it before?
I don't know. Did I? I don't think I did.
It rings a bell, but I feel like you might have just told us about it like in conversation, not like on the podcast, maybe.
So so these androids in the story, they're known as like sex bots. Like they live in a house where they're like, but they live in like a rundown house. Like they're like lowest of the low. They're like older models. And somehow she ends up getting stranded on this planet, and she's trying to escape. She's running away from someone because they want to kill her. And she ends up running into that house, and she like makes friends with like the androids that are in there, and then she makes a deal with them like I'll cuz she's like really good, like she's really handy. And she's like, I'll make a deal with you. And
fun.
Because half of the androids are like falling apart and stuff. So she's like, let me stay here and I'll help you. I'll fix you guys up. And let me hide out and we can help each other out, basically. And she just starts falling in love with one after another. And yeah, it's pretty.
So they're like, they have personalities? Like they're not just like...
No, they
robots?
they do. They have personalities. Like they have like their system has like a
conscience.
Like it's like programmed, I guess.
Okay.
And like little by little, like they start evolving, but they keep coming out with like newer and newer models that they just kind of forget about them. Yeah,
it's okay. They still get their pussy.
They do. They really do.
Okay. Glad they get that at least.
And then this other one I read, it's called The Beta. I read part 1 by Evan Michaels, I believe her name is. Mm-hmm. This one really pissed me off.
Uh-oh. But it's on your
why
list?
Is it on your list?
Because I think I'm going to go back to I took time and I thought about it and I'm going to go back because I want to know how
This is why she has 22 books on her list.
Yeah.
Okay,
she's like, I fucking hated this book, but I'm putting it on the list.
I'm gonna continue. So it's a dark contemporary Omegaverse romance. So it's already like an Omegaverse. It's like a pack where they already have their Omega, which is a male.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah, and they treat the heroine, the Omegaverse, like they treat her like shit, like complete fucking garbage. But
any head in acid or chemicals or anything?
Well, yeah, this is Pack Darling 2.0.
yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason, like it really pissed me off. Maybe because half of the guys are idiots, which half of these books, there's a bunch of guys that are idiots. But for some reason, I want to go back and finish the series and like find out like if she forgives them and how it ends. And okay, so the next one is When She Unravels by Gabrielle Sands. I don't remember much about this one, but I know it's a mafia romance, and I remember enjoying it. So I can't really tell you. Sorry.
Okay. Noted.
The next one on my list is Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. I'm pretty sure like everybody has like
heard of this. Yeah.
Okay, I need to read this.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. It's a stalker romance, like villains to lovers, touch her and die, love hate. He's the villain, but he's like not really the villain.
Is that the one with somnophilia?
Yeah, it has a little bit, I think.
I saw on TikTok on one of those, quick videos that make you want to read a book. Does he fuck her with his gun?
Ooh, I don't remember. He might have.
Yeah, that's what made me really want to read it. Like,
is that the thing that you really want to broadcast on a podcast, Steph? Is that the information you want the world to know about you? I'm not sure.
I retract that statement. I was held at gunpoint.
If you want gunplay like that, what is it her Vipers? That one reverse harem one? I ended up DNFing.
Oh, the Viper
Den of Vipers. They have that.
Yeah,
they have a scene like that.
I won't read that. That just sounds awful.
That sounds like a hot mess, that whole book. And not like a fun hot mess, just a hot mess.
The next book is Sinners Anonymous by, is it Somme Sketcher? Somme?
I have Somme Sketcher. I think that's
Somme Sketcher.
But she's also on my list.
Yeah. Me and Seth read this one. And it's really good.
So don't say anything, Seth will talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I can jump on.
No, because she has like 22 things.
Yeah. So, I'll let Seth take over. Because I only read the first book. I didn't read the entire series yet. So I'm still working through it. Really good first book. And then I read Flawless by Elsie Silver. It's a fluffy small town romance. It's like forced proximity between a bull rider and his
Excuse
agent.
me, hold up. What? Small town? Bull riders? What is going on?
Yes.
I read that too, okay?
Sweet romance? Like, what? Excuse me.
It was
We
cute.
read this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what was your reasoning behind wanting to read it, though, S? Like, did you have a reason
Why I wanted to
picking
read
it up? Yeah, like, why'd you
Yellowstone?
want to read Flawless?
Because of, I'm like blanking out. What's the show that we read?
Yellowstone?
That
That was the
Yellowstone.
reason, too!
Because of Yellowstone.
That was my reason!
Yeah, it was cute, sexy.
Does he tie her up with them ropes?
No, he doesn't.
Does she ride his bull?
She did ride his bull.
Yeah, she did.
A lot, quite often.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But the second one sounds really interesting because he's a single, like, grumpy dad, and she's gonna be the nanny.
Ooh, I love a nanny book. I do.
Yeah, that one sounds really good. So hopefully this year I'll continue the series.
I feel like it's cursed. Whenever we say something like that on this episode, like the best of whatever, we never go back and read it. So
Yeah.
We will. I will.
okay.
Just the sigh of disappointment in all of us. If we say on the podcast that we're going to go back to something or that we're going to read something or that we're excited about reading something, that book is forever doomed. It will never get read.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
But no, I am pushing myself to finish books that I said I was
what
gonna
happened
read.
to Land of the Beautiful Dead?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It will. I
Right.
promise.
2023.
More like 2024.
No, watch. It's gonna happen. I promise.
The thing is, she reads so much Hermione, and like those fics are hella long, and it's like Land of the Beautiful Dead is like nothing in comparison. But yeah, you haven't finished it.
I will, Marge. I promise.
Okay. Taking an oath.
Swear on the book. Where's the book? Swear on it.
Where's the book? That's the Bible.
It's so far away. I can't reach it.
I'm kidding.
Okay, let me finish my list.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
And then I reread All for the Game series by Nora Sakovic. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this series at all on the podcast.
I don't think so.
No, what's it about?
So elaborate.
God, it's a weird book. It has to do with this game called, I think, Exy. So it's kind of like a lacrosse / hockey / like rugby, kind of like that. It's like a mixture, and it's basically about like a bunch of misfits put together to play this at a university, and it kind of has like mafia in it.
Oh,
There's like
That's
it's
a bit
like,
random.
yeah,
Okay.
like mafia ties in it, where like the mafia kind of owns some of these players. It's a little confusing, but it's good, and it's a little dark.
Wait, is that the Fox book?
Yeah, All for the Game, the Foxhole Court.
Oh, okay. I was like, why does this ring a bell? Is it this?
Yeah,
It is that. Okay,
so-
I want to read those.
Yeah, so it's really good. It has a little bit of in it.
what do you mean by a little bit?
What? Yeah. I thought it was like
I mean,
romance book.
yes, but it doesn't really have romance. Like if it does, it's like a touch of it in maybe the second book and maybe a little bit on the third. Like it's not romance. Like it's not heavily. There's like a hint of it. But if you're going in there expecting like flowers and like they fall in love and like romance, like it's
No,
not.
I was kind of expecting like I don't know, like just more sex.
I think they do, but it's not explicit. It's not. So don't go in expecting like explicit things. Yeah, no.
Damn it.
And it deals with a lot of trauma
to someone. It appeals to someone in this world, just not me.
too. Yeah. But I think you would like it, Marge. At least.
I'm sure I would.
Yeah. But if you are expecting like explicit things, like it's not. You won't get it from the series. Okay, and then the last thing on my list is Bitter Secrets by Mia Knight. It's the second book in the Cinch series. It's toxic as hell. I fucking love it. The guy's a fucking asshole.
Love that.
I believe I talked about the first book in
Yes.
one of our catch up
Yeah.
and chills. So this is a continuation, and it's a pretty long book, but if you're expecting to go into the second book and expecting like their relationship to evolve, it doesn't. And like it takes up only like a month of their. I mean, I was pretty happy with what I got. I was okay. I went into it knowing that it was only going to be about a month of their like relationship.
Okay.
Like I knew going in like what I was expecting, and I was fine with it. But I know there's a lot of people that were a little disappointed. Like they wanted a more deep dive into like the guy's like mind and stuff, and more answers to like the first book.
Is it dual POV or just
No,
hers?
it's just her point of view, and I think it's just gonna be her point of view through all 4 books, and then she's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
release a book with his point of view, but like later on.
But like at the end.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that when like the authors decide to release like a book after everything?
Hate it. Don't care. Will not read it.
As much as I care for the guy's POV, I just feel like it should be interwoven in the story.
Yeah, if it's not, if you purposefully choose to tell a story without part of the story, like one POV, because there's a reason for it, then as a reader, I don't see why I would then need to go and read his POV afterward, or his or hers, whatever.
Yeah.
Like whoever's POV was left out, because to me that's just rereading something, like the same story. And like I get the like, oh, it's a different perspective, but it's like that wasn't the story to begin with, so I don't care. I don't want it.
Would you, okay, for example, if you find a book and it's only in the one character's perspective, but then you also realize that the story is told in the other perspective, would you choose one over the other?
I'd choose whichever one came
I
first.
don't know. Sometimes I like getting the male perspective sometimes.
I don't know. I'm comfortable in whichever POV is given to me. I'm like, if you want to give me both, give me both. If you just want to give me one and it's just the guys, just the girls, whatever.
I feel like for the first 2 books and the auction, that series.
Yeah, I didn't read those, yeah.
So the first one, it's Hermione's point of view, and I guess the second one is Draco's point of view of the first book.
Of the same story?
Yeah, but it's just
Okay.
his perspective. on it. And I read Hermione's and I liked it. And I was like, okay, but do I want to jump into his? And they say that his is better, so I probably should have gone into his first.
So hold on. The auction is what you guys want me to read, but there's how many books?
Yeah, no, Seth, don't. The first 2 books are something else. Basically, the third book, The Auction, what we read, that's like an alternate universe, if you will, of just like her characters. So initially she wrote, I don't remember the name of those books, but like she wrote a book apparently in Hermione's POV, then rewrote it in his POV, and then she released The Auction, which was like this separate story, kind of like alternate universe, but not really, where she kind of took those characters and like rewrote them in a different story type thing.
So what she did was the first 2 are sweet, where Voldemort doesn't win, and then basically the auction is AU of Voldemort winning and how dark that world would have got. Got it. Yeah.
And there are people that are like, oh, reading the first 2 like helps you because like it tells you certain things about like the third one. I just don't.
I read it and I don't think
you do not need to read the first 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seth, you're going next.
Okay, so 2022 was actually a lot better for, my reading. I read a lot of books. It was actually pretty impressive for myself. I just feel like my mental health was better, so that meant I was excited for reading. So yeah, it was a really good reading, really good reading year. Okay, first thing on my list is the Dark Verse series by Runyx. I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast before. I don't think so.
I don't think
you did.
Guys, we've all been sleeping on these books. They're amazing. They're so good. And I love them. So basically, the first book is called The Predator. And we start off, it's like mafia. So we start off with this girl, Morena. And she is, like, her life sucks. Her dad's an awful person. She kind of gets connected with, I guess, the rival gang or mafia, and she meets Tristan, who literally hates her on sight and vows to kill her. Like, he said, you will die, but only by my hands. And thus starts the whole mystery of it all, basically. Like, as each book progresses, you find more and more things out, and then you're like, how could I not see it before? And it's just like, she's like, the author is really good at like putting in the puzzle pieces for you to freak out every time something's uncovered, and then you're like, once you look at it like at the whole picture, you're like, how did this even come about? Like, she does such a good job of doing that. And also the love stories are really good. All books, so we have the Predator, the Reaper, that covers one couple, then we have the Emperor, which is another couple, and then the Finisher, another couple, and then the Annihilator is like the game changer one, and that is another couple, but like who it is so shocking, and you're like, holy shit. Like, it's just so good. So good. I don't even want to say anything about it because I don't want to spoil it.
I have a really random question for y'all. How do you feel about an author that only has the one name like that, and it's like kind of a fanficky name? Does that change anything for you? Well, it's just Runyx, right? That's all. Yeah. That's it. Like, no first name, last name, and it kind of sounds fanficky. Like, does that take you aback a bit when you find books like that, or is that not even like something that you think about?
Like, it crossed my mind when I first saw the author like circulating. I'm like, oh, the name like very AO3 Wattpad.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah. I mean, I don't think it would stop me from. I plan on reading the series. So, what about you?
Yeah, what about you, Em?
Well, wait, what about you?
Oh, okay, fine. For me, I guess like maybe it played a part in me taking so long to read it. I think so. Yeah, I can see that played a part in me taking so long to read it. And I don't know why, because it had so many reviews, so I don't know what I was struggling with there.
Yeah, I think it's the same for me. It's not something that would completely stop me from reading someone's books, but it does mean that it will most likely take me longer, just because I feel like romance is a lot about like expectations.
Right.
And so when you pick up a book, you like to know exactly what you're going to get. And so when authors have names like that, it kind of makes you think of fanfic, which like obviously, I mean, you've heard S's list at this point. We are not fanfic haters. In fact, we are fanfic lovers. But it does kind of set different expectations, right? When you go into a fanfic versus when you go into like an actual romance novel that is published. So for me, it's always a bit weird because I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm going to get from this author, just because like the name kind of evokes something else than like an actual romance novel, you know? But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, yeah, it will probably just take me a bit longer to actually give those authors a chance, I feel like.
What do you guys feel about, I guess it's like, I'm piggybacking off your question, when you don't really know what the author looks like, does that play a part in anything? Like, you know, when they don't share any sort of image? Okay.
Not at all.
I kind of prefer it, like, now.
Yeah.
Not knowing what they look like?
Or like, them not oversharing.
Yeah,
about their life.
Oversharing
Like,
is key.
And God knows there are some authors out there that overshare. And you're like, you know what? I did not sign up for this. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think about it. I don't, like, sometimes I've read, like, there are authors that I've read multiple books by them, and I haven't even realized that I don't know what they look like.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even know, like, their gender, like, nothing about them. Like, they're just a name to me. So, I mean, maybe that's a terrible thing to say. Like, you're just a name to me. But, like, I kind of feel like for those authors, that's more or less what they want. Like, if they don't have a presence at all on social media, they don't share who they are or whatnot, like, I kind of feel like those are the authors that are like, I just want to be a name and that's it. Like, I'm not that involved in things. And yeah, I feel like I like those authors a bit more sometimes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, because there's no, like, pretense about it. It's literally just like, here are my books. Here are the tropes. Read it or don't. I don't care. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
There's, like, something really refreshing about that to me. So,
agreed.
Rest
Okay,
of your
sorry.
list.
Next on the list, S already talked about it. Sinners Anonymous, but the whole series. Not the whole series. I've only read the 3 that are out right now. So we have Sinners Anonymous, Sinners Condemned, and Sinners Consumed. Anyways, the boys, we have Angelo, Raphael, and Gabe, and like Gabe's book needs to come out ASAP. So they're 3 brothers, and so book 1 covers the eldest brother and his girl who is engaged to his old uncle, who's an asshole, evil man. Yeah, I know. And like there's a reason why she's not like a gold digger, but like she gets a label all the time. And then she comes across
nothing wrong with being a gold digger.
No, nothing wrong at all. But I mean, like, for her, she's honestly like a great person, and it just like her life like pretty much sucks. And she is known for calling Sinners Anonymous, which is like an anonymous hotline that you call and confess your sins. And
really?
So, yeah, so she calls that number all the time, and it's obviously owned by her 3 boys. And
is it?
Yeah, so they kind of modeled it after their father, who had a church, and people would go confess in this church, and he would be able to harbor all these secrets because they didn't really know that it was owned by like this mafia family.
Yeah.
So the sons modeled their Sinners Anonymous off of their father, and so yeah, it was a fun book, the first book, and their age gap is pretty big. He's like 36. 37, 38, and she's 21.
Don't tell TikTok.
TikTok, surprisingly, is kind of into it.
Is it book talk then? Sorry, Twitter, book Twitter?
I don't know. I try not to follow book Twitter as much. I don't know.
People be hating on the age gap.
I think book Twitter is what's hating on age gaps. I feel
there's like a 5-year age gap, and they're like, ew.
Yeah.
When she was 12, he was 18.
When she was 15, he was 20. Ew. I was like, bitch, they didn't meet at that age.
They did not meet.
Shut up.
When he was in school, she was just 4.
Go touch some grass.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you need to touch some grass.
Oh, man.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
The first book really, like, it has spanking in a church. It has belts, smacking with the belts, because they have this no-touch rule. It was so good. And then the second book covers the middle brother, Raphael, and he meets Penny, who is his match made in heaven. She is like snarky. She gives him a run for his money, like quite literally. They're just great. Like, I don't want to spoil anything for us because she hasn't read it, but he is obsessed with her, but they absolutely hate each other to the point where, like, It's pretty intense. I love it. Like, honestly, like, I think if you ever hesitated on reading the series, don't. Like, just go read it now because it's so much fun. And the one-liners are great. So, yeah, they're great. And I'm just waiting for Gabriel. He's like the psychopath who literally laughs at cutting off your fingers and gets excited when his brothers say, yeah, you can go, do what you need to do with him. He's great. And he's with Wren. Yes. I cannot wait.
She's the like, bartender, right?
She's the bartender, but she's also like the do-gooder. So she like, whenever someone is like on this, not on the streets, but like usually whenever like Friday, Saturday night rolls around, she's the one out there giving rides to people and like giving them like food and drinks and stuff like that. Because I think there's a deeper thing that happened there. I feel like she might have maybe killed someone when she was drunk or something, for all you know. I don't know. We don't know. We won't know until we know what her calls are like for the Sinners Anonymous hotline. So that was a really good read for me this year. Another one. Oh, okay. The Forgotten Phantom by Catherine Ann Kingsley.
Right.
Guys.
Yeah.
Yes. I know you did not like The Phantom of the Opera as much as we did.
Wait, no, she did.
I did.
Did she not?
You did, but you hated on the Phantom. You're like, you didn't believe in the love story.
Oh yeah, you thought he was a little possessive, but like it wasn't doing it for you for once.
A
yeah,
little
that's true.
Manipulative, a little.
This one's great. So basically it's kind of a take on Phantom of the Opera in the sense where it's set, I'm trying to think the time. I think it's like, I don't know if it's present day or no, I think it's present day. Yes, it's present day, and she kind of works for this institution or organization where like they scope out, I guess, paranormal beings, and they find out that there's one in this opera house. And so she goes there undercover, and then the Phantom, who is literally a phantom, he's a ghost at this point, he believes that's his Christine reincarnated, and he is gonna get her this time, and he's gonna get her to fall in love with him.
So it's kind of like a sequel.
It's like a sequel. And so obviously she does not think she's this Christine, and it's just like when you find out like what he's been through, like I guess mentally and like physically, and then you got to hear his side of things and like the angst and the heartbreak and the love that is felt for this woman that obviously he realizes it's not Christine of the past, and it's so good. And I recommend it. I will always recommend it. It's just such a good book. And I just love the Phantom, and any version I get of the Phantom, I love him. So maybe this one might turn you, S. Maybe you should try it.
There's no moments of like bitch ass Bowen where he's in love with someone else. Like there's not those vibes where because it seems like he's in love with someone else and expecting that person to be that woman.
Wait, right. Was that not an issue for you, Steph?
No, because that issue's kind of pretty much like thrown out the window quite quickly, and he doesn't try to like make her that Christine at all. It's more so like you realize he had issues with the original Christine anyway, but he just loved her and would have taken anything. But then as he like slowly realizes what real love is, it's different. What, Marge? That face was there.
No, I'm just thinking about it. Just because I'm thinking like I'm surprised that you're not bothered by that, because it is the dead lover trope, and then on top of that, it's a story that you love with characters that you love, and then essentially you're being told that he didn't love Christine, or like Christine, there were issues there. I'm just surprised that overall you're okay with it.
Why would Christine not choose the Phantom? Why? Like who told her not to choose the Phantom? There's issues there. She's an idiot. I don't know. I just like, for me, that trope works when like they realize that they actually didn't love that person as much, or they didn't love them at all, and they love this person, the current person, more, or they actually realize what love is with this person.
But Seth, say you find the love of your life, and sadly, I mean, knocking on wood, I don't wish this for you, but sadly, this person dies. Would you not then want to find that again? And would you, like, would it have to be better than it was? Or can it just be the same? Can you not love two people the same?
Hey, I like what I like in my fiction, and this happens to be one of them.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Let's not superimpose our likes and dislikes in fiction onto real life, because I've been reading some fucked up shit. I don't want to think about it.
All right, so yeah, read that one if you're in the mood for a phantom fix. Next one on my list that was a 5-star, which was kind of surprising for me because I had read another book by this author, and I didn't like it as much as I thought I was gonna like it. And it was I think it's Twisted Love by Anna Huang. And so this time around I read King of Wrath by the same author.
Right.
And it was great. Like, it honestly
Tell me about
shocked
that.
me. It was great. So basically it's about it's a revenge forced marriage, in the sense where the main guy, he is forced to marry this girl because her father has this dirt on his brother, and it's really bad dirt that his brother can die if it's ever out in the open. So he hates the girl on sight, and he obviously is trying his best to get all copies of the dirt that her father has on his brother. And he's very closed off, very assholey, and he just doesn't want anything to do with her. But slowly, as time passes, he starts to realize that she's not the image that she portrays, and she's honestly, like, a great person. And I don't know, I just love the story so much because of, like, the way it was written, and, like, you felt their relationship grow. And so, like, when the angst hit, you felt it. Because obviously he starts falling in love with her, but he has this big plan of ruining the father's reputation and also hers, because he wants to out the father and do all these things, but he obviously falls in love with her. So it's like, what do I do? Do I lose her, or do I keep her? And then the father wins. So yeah, it was a great read, great angst, great grovel.
Nice.
It was good. Like, I highly recommend. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did because it was really well loved on TikTok. So it took me a while to pick it up because of that.
You know what my favorite moment is in a revenge story, like, type romance?
When?
You know that moment where they realize that they have feelings for this person, and they have this whole plan that's underway, and that it's just past the point where they can stop it, and it's too late, and they realize that they can't stop it anymore, and it's that moment. The, like, fuck, there's nothing I can do now. It's gonna happen.
It's so good. And, like, and, like, it breaks my heart because, like, he pulls away and she's like, why is he doing this? And it's just, like, it's heartbreaking, but it's so good. I need more books like that, guys. More. That actually, like, deliver.
I feel like there's a lot in historical romance.
Right, yeah. Okay, next one is another series. This one was a surprise for me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. And that series was Cursed Merman by Aramis Jordan. Aramis? Guys, horny mermen. That's, like, literally, like,
sign me up.
It's great. So basically it, like, deals with this whole mythology of Atlantis, and, like, the mermen being cursed in these forms where, like, they're forever gonna be horny and want sex. But they're unable to reach their pinnacle. They're not able to, come at all. So these mermen lure sailors or whatever, human men, with their voices, like regular sirens, regular mermaids do. And they literally fuck them senseless with their hands, with tools, with, like, magical vibrators, for days and days on end. Honestly, guys, it gave what it needed to give.
So wait, they never, ever, ever, ever have a dick?
Okay, so obviously there's a catch somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Things happen, long, I guess short answer is yes, they do. And they are able to come if their human counterpart, their man, decides to, help things along. But I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, they sometimes.
How does the human counterpart decide to help things along?
It's like a lot of work,
Do you just pet the front, the slit, wherever that would be?
Wherever the dick, yeah.
And you just wait for it to open up?
Yes. But it's all, like, the way that it's written, you like, believe it. But anyways, there's a sea warlock guy who helps along the process of them getting dicks. It's great. Honestly, just try it. Like, it's just...
I honestly thought you were gonna say that, like, they do have a dick, but it only opens up when they're, like, with their mate.
No. Okay, so I'll just spoil.
And then it goes, choop.
So, the first one's kind of like The Little Mermaid in the sense where, like, he makes a deal with the warlock person, and the merman becomes human and is able to get dick down, but he is going to be the warlock's servant for the rest of his life.
Damn, that's sad.
I know.
Kind of a dark ending.
It doesn't, obviously doesn't end that way.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like the end. That's how it ends.
No.
Happy ever after.
No, they're great. And so the first one is very sweet, but then the second one is like real, like, enemies to lovers, in the sense where, like, the human that's, like, getting fucked hates that it he's getting his gay awakening, basically. It's like a lot of, like, the first and second books are basically them hating, like, they're like, I'm straight, like, I only like women.
So it's gay for you. The trope is gay for you.
Yeah, gay for you. Yeah, so I discovered a lot of things that I guess my little mind did not perceive, or things that could happen, and I was just in awe, horrified, but, like, also, like, really intrigued. So there's some things to look forward to once you start that series. I don't want to spoil it. It was like, I was shocked. I was like, that's going in what? And where? And then you already mentioned the Mindfuck series by St. Abby. Really enjoyed it. S recommended it. I loved it. Can I also mention my movies and TV shows?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So my standout movie this year, obviously, is Avatar: The Way of Water. Loved it.
Yay!
So good. It was great. 10 out of 10.
Love Loak. Love Natayam.
I love those boys.
I will say, though, I'm tired of liking characters that are dead. But,
I firmly believe Kiri is going to pull some, like we talked about earlier, some
Jesus
space
powers,
Jesus resurrection shit and bring it to him back.
She better.
That would be awesome.
She has to, guys.
Come on, Baby Boy deserves to be back, to be loved. Seth and I kind of ship him with the other tribe.
The Metcaina
son.
tribal leader? Like, you know, the water.
His son.
Yeah, his son.
Oh.
There were vibes there. There were vibes. I felt the vibes.
I rewatched it yesterday, and let me tell you, the way they looked at each other. So when Natayam and, like, his family, they all come to the Metcaina people, and he sees, I think his name's Uong. I'm probably saying it wrong. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Unong. Anyways, whenever he sees him, there's, like, he literally looks at him, his eyebrows raise, and, like, he was not looking at Soraya. He was looking at him. And
and Steph said that James Cameron confirmed that it is possible to have same-sex mates. So
yeah, he did. So why mention it if none of the main characters are gonna be in a same-sex relationship?
True.
Come on, like, you can't have a 15-year-old boy die and then not give him the chance to come back and have his own story. Like, come on. You can't do that. You can't do that to me. That is just tragic. That is just too sad.
I mean, like, it makes sense. Sorry for the people that have not watched it. Oh my gosh, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
His death was, like, needed in the sense where, like, it gave Jake that push to, like, you know, not run anymore, because he's only been running since the first movie. And so I see why it had to happen, but I just love Natayam so much that I need him to come back. Like, I just love him.
But I just think, like, mythology-wise, it would actually be more powerful if he got to come back. Like, the point of that lesson is not, like, he's gone and he's gone forever. I feel like the lesson has been learned, and from this point, like, he could come back and have his own story or whatnot. Like, I mean, it's fucking blue aliens somewhere on some moon. Like, there's nothing he cannot do, okay?
That's fair.
I don't know. To me, I feel like Jake's lesson should not be at the expense of his own 15-year-old son. if that makes sense.
No, I fully agree with it, but I also feel like for it to have happened that way, it did give him that push that he needed to stay and fight and protect what he does have, because he's only ever been running forever. So even in the first one, he ran from Earth. He ran from everywhere else. Yeah.
You know what, S? It makes me want to read that book that you read.
Oh.
The one where they have like an orgy at the base of some tree, and then there's like aphrodisiac like fruit or whatnot. Like, yeah, I want to read that.
You should. It's Avatar's Gone Wild, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because there's no fix. I'm just like, hello, where is the fix? Where are they?
Because we don't know what their dicks look like.
Yeah.
That is our big problem. I would love to write fanfic, but I don't know what their dicks look like.
Yeah.
And Em was saying she doesn't want that responsibility, you know?
Yeah, I don't know that I want that responsibility. There's no lore around the dicks, you know?
At
And
all?
like I was thinking,
No, I went
well, I mean, not
searching.
that I know of.
Sorry.
And like
There has to be something.
we could, you know, because the dilemma here is like, do you make the dick funky just because they're aliens? But then I'm like, but is that too much? Because when they actually have sex and like mate, they like, you know, put together their like braids, you know, their little thingy, and then they connect through the minds. And I'm like, that is intense enough as it is that like you don't really need a funky dick. Like they're
Agreed.
literally mind connected.
But that's only for like when you have like that's your mate bond, you know? Like
But you can connect every time. I don't see why that would be the one time.
no, apparently I read something. So that's only you can only do that.
She did research the lore around
Shut up. You can only do that once you choose a person who is your mate. Like who you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah, but then when you have sex with that person moving on, like moving forward, then you connect.
Yeah, like as you find that person, then you keep doing that. I think it. Yeah. But they only find one mate in their life.
I don't know. It's a big responsibility. I don't know that I can fill those shoes, to be honest. But I'm just looking for that smut, and it is non-existent. So I figured maybe I should read that orgy book because
Do it, Marge.
close enough, you know.
Yeah.
I will say about Avatar, I really want. This is a spider hate account. Okay,
I
so
hate Spider.
if you have an issue with that, go away.
Call me when you're done.
You like
Wait,
Spider?
you like Spider even
No,
at what he did in
no.
the end?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. Continue.
Anyways, what I want to say is what I'm really wanting to see happening is for Loak to have his Anakin Skywalker moment and find out that Spider saved that other guy. What's his name? Quaritch. And like kill him. Just like off him.
No, and then he realizes his brother died for literally nothing.
Because of him.
Yeah.
Kill that guy.
Agreed.
Goodbye. Go dark. I really want him to go dark.
What I think is like gonna happen, I honestly feel like Spider is gonna realize that he's obviously not part of the family. And then he's probably gonna join Quaritch, which I think is gonna be dumb, but
Yeah. Like, I think one of my least favorite lines of the entire movie is when, at the very end, like, Natayam's dead, everything, and then Jake kind of, like, grabs Loak by the neck or whatnot and, like, does that thing. And then he says a son for a son with, like, Spider, and I'm like,
Yeah.
absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah.
That is not, those are not equals.
no.
Okay? Spider does not and could not fucking wishes he could replace
Yeah.
Natayam.
Yeah.
But, like, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
Every time that line happens, I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah, it's like I get the idea behind it, Jake, and I love you for it because you were such a great guy. I don't want it. He is not your son. Neytiri really knows what she's doing, and she does not want that little wannabe Tarzan around her family at all. I say listen to your wife.
Yep. Anyways, what's next on your list?
Last
That
on
was
my
a
list-
whole, like, that turned into an episode on Avatar, sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys. Anyways, last thing that on my regular list and on my honorable mentions
Oh, God.
is Willow. And so I watched the movie a few weeks back, which I really liked. And then I started this show, and the show was really great. Loved it. Finished it, and now I just need season 2. So basically, if you've seen Willow the movie, which I don't think either of you have.
No.
I don't
No?
know what that is. Mm.
Okay, so it's the same production company of Star Wars, like Lucasfilm. And so they created this story. It was back in the 80s this movie came out. And so basically it's about this guy who finds this baby, and he goes on this quest to deliver this baby to safety, because this baby is prophesized to be like the big savior of the world. And the evil queen wants to send her to like this other realm, and so that she can never be reincarnated. So this guy is there on this trek, and he's ready to like, get her there. He comes across this like thief who's like the bad boy, and then who's hunting them. So the thief kind of joins him on this quest, and who's hunting them is the queen's daughter. So she wants to get the baby, and the queen, obviously, like I said, wants the baby to go to another world and like never come back. So she's quote unquote evil, and Mr. Thief guy obviously hates her guts. And there's some enemies to lovers happening there, and that's great and all. And the movie ends happy, baby saved, whatever. And then the show takes place, I don't know how many years. I guess it's 16, 17 years after the movie. And the kid's grown up, but they've hidden her away. Like, she doesn't even know who she is. She does not know she's Elora Danan, destined to save the world from the evil. And the thief and the daughter of the evil queen, they got married, and they have their own kids. And it's like a next generation. And it's just a fun adventure quest, because one of the kids of the evil queen's daughter, her name's Sorsha, and Man Mardigan is the guy. So one of their kids goes missing. He gets captured by like the evil entity of the show, and they go on a quest to save him. And Elora Danan, who is known as Dove at this moment because she doesn't know who she is, she thinks she's in love with this guy, this prince. So she joins the quest to go find him. But during that time, she realizes who she is. And of course, she like gets Willow, who is the man that had helped take her to safety. In the movie, he becomes her teacher, her mentor, and teaches her the way of magic and all that stuff. And it's just great, guys. Like, I just loved it. It was honestly, it gave me what I wanted from Star Wars, in the sense where we get a mentor that actually mentors her and teaches her and is there for her. And that you see that relationship build and you don't hate him. And then we also get the dark, like, not the dark prince, but he's like a sad, frowny prince who obviously like has a crush on her, and he has his own journey with magic and his own journey with the darkness. And just seeing the way that they come together, and like seeing the way that the story unfolds. And then we see a heroine that's like, it's not wrong for her to be angry or sad or jealous or in love. Like, it's just like, it's not wrong to see that. And it's just like such a breath of fresh air with like what's going on in like the media and everything that we've been seeing. So yeah, it was a fun show, and I'm excited for season 2, and I highly recommend if you're a Raylo or if you love good TV.
What's on your honorable mentions list?
Honorable mentions. Okay, this is quick. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, which I've already mentioned, in one of our Ketchup and Chills. So if you want to listen to that, I don't know what episode it is, but we have a list of everything that we've talked about for all of our Ketchup and Chills in the description of each episode. Muscles and Monsters and Tentacles and Triathlons by Ashley Bennett. Those were really fun if you are in the mood for a good, quick monster fucking romance. The Devil series by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I've talked about them. I think I've talked about the first 3 quite often on these episodes. Since then I've read is it the 4th and the 5th or the 3rd and the 4th? I don't remember. But like, I've read 2 since we last talked about them, and I love the series. It's great. It's fun. Contemporary romance. Usually asshole heroes, which is great. Desire in His Blood by Zoe Draven, which was it was a new series that this author had started this year, and it was a fun read. It's great. that one had Omega verse, nodding, great stuff. Vampire, blood play, great. Yeah, that's my honorable mentions.
So Bridgerton is not on there.
I mean, yeah, Bridgerton.
That was last year?
I did not even know that was last year.
And like Love Between Fury and Devil? Question mark.
Sorry.
Again, that was last year. That's crazy. I don't know why. That just kind of.
Yes,
we did watch some shows.
Both are on my list.
I'm hoping by this point that you guys have grabbed a snack, that you have something to do, because I can't believe we've been going on for this long and still have the lists of what we're excited for and everything to go.
That'll be a quick thing, though. We'll just be like, we want to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I do have some questions for y'all.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like, honestly, 2022 was like the busiest freaking year of my life. Also the most stressful thus far. But I read more than ever before. Like, I read over 200 books. And I'm like, never in my life have I read this much. Because the thing is that I use books to procrastinate from doing the things that I need to do. So that's why the busier I am, the more I read, because it's like, I don't want to be doing these things, so let me read some smut. Anyways, so basically my list is short because I pulled a Seth on this one. And instead of going with necessarily like the books that were like the best, basically I chose to not understand the assignment.
Okay.
And
Okay.
instead of going with the books that were the best, I went with 4 books that I think represent like major shifts in my reading throughout the year. Throughout the year.
Okay.
So like, cause my reading was all over the fucking place. Okay, chaos was me this year. Okay, it started out. I wasn't even reading reverse harem, okay? And it ended with me reading, like, gangbangs and stuff. So, imagine what happened, okay? A lot happened, okay? I was in all the directions. I was reading all sorts of things. I practiced what I call impulsive reading, which is basically read whatever the fuck calls to you in that precise moment. So like it's kind of like the sister of mood reading, but it's like more intense, where it's like I was sometimes reading 6 books at the same time because there were just 6 books that I was like, yep, I want to read that and that and that and that and that. And it worked really well for me. So I'm still practicing that. But anyways, that just means that I had so many different moods that I was in, and I was reading all sorts of things. So I guess like the first thing on my list is Mo Dao Zu Xu, also known as Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, which I've talked about on the podcast before, so I'm not going to go into what that is, but I put this on my list because it was the first Chinese novel I ever read. And obviously it started with the Donghua, which made me fall in love with that. And then I, read the novel. And from there, I kind of like discovered like a whole new world. But literally, right? Like, and it brought me to so many other things. Like, that was really a huge change for me. It brought me to Nanshan, which is like, I've never mentioned it on the podcast, but Nanshan was like one of the biggest books I've ever read in my life. I mean, we're talking like 2,000, 3,000 pages. It's a long story, and there's no way to describe Nanshan as a book. It's gods, revenge, it's religion, it's wars, love, reincarnation, love through the ages, enemies to lovers to enemies to lovers. It's such a huge story, and like it just opened my eyes to like a whole different kind of stories where like there's the political aspect of it, there's like the characters, and they're so like just Chinese novels in general, like they just do characters differently, and I can't quite put my finger on like what is different, but something about it is different. So anyway, so I'm very grateful for that, and obviously like it brought me to Wang Yibo, and then that brought me to Love Between Fairy and Devil, because like mind you, I never would have even like gotten into Love Between Fairy and Devil if it wasn't for Model Shu. Like I needed to, you know, do that first to then like come to realize like maybe I would like, you know, a C drama that's like fucking 36 episodes long. And then from there, I obviously also found Kin Porsche, which I also haven't mentioned on the podcast, but Kin Porsche is actually Thai. But I fell in love with that show. I mean, granted, mostly the like Vegas Pete storyline, which is like all the books that we've ever read, like every dark romance where it's like, you know, kidnapping, kind of a little bit of torture, you know, all those things. It was great. Like, honestly, because, like, obviously, C dramas and C novels, like, they're great, but you are lacking the sex. And sometimes even more than that, when it's like it can't even be implied in like actual media. In the books, it's fine, it's all there, but like in actual like media, it's sometimes not even implied.
Yeah.
But Thailand has no such problems, which is very refreshing. So it was great to be able to see that kind of story between two guys and like see it as explicitly told as you want it to be. And it just did such a wonderful job of getting into the psyche of two characters like that have been messed up by life. And, like, you know, they're a part of the mafia, and there's this whole, like, stuff going on. And, like, obviously Kin Porsche as a show is, like, quite lighthearted for the most part, I would say. And Kim and Porsche are the main characters. But the Vegas Pete storyline that comes sort of later on in the first season was just, like, I was really mind blown. Like, I was just like, this is great. This is everything I ever wanted. So, anyways, so I'm grateful for Modezushi because it brought me all those things that I'm, like, now loving and looking forward to. And obviously there's like tons more shows that I'm now excited about that should hopefully be released in 2023, though like with China you honestly never freaking know. You only know a show is coming out like literally 2 weeks ahead of time. So that's fun. Anyways, the second thing on my list is The Auction by Lovesbit Ka 8, because again, like I wasn't really reading fan fiction at the time. I don't think I've ever said this on the podcast, but I actually started out reading fan fiction before I was reading romance. Because I wasn't a good reader. I wasn't very good at reading, so I hated reading, but I loved fanfic. So I started out reading fanfic, then got into romance, and then stopped reading fanfic altogether. So for me, this was like, it marked like a return to fanfiction, and especially it was Hermione fanfic, which I've never dabbled into. And as we said, like it's a really good fanfic. Like it really sucked me in. It just like, it's the kind of book that you read and like you don't start out being the same, like the person you were before is not the person you are at the end. Like it feels like a lifetime has happened in between, you know? So anyways, it's just, I love that book. And obviously it then made me want to read all kinds of other Hermione fics and just all kinds of fics, period. And I even started writing fics. So like I feel like I have to thank The Auction for that, because I feel like otherwise I wouldn't have gone back into like that whole world of fan fiction. So anyways, the next one on my list is it's gonna be a controversial one for the people on this podcast.
Okay.
Because one of us hated it and one of us loved it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what is it?
Well, I mean, okay, hear me out. I feel like I've said before that, like, I haven't been reading contemporary at all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I know which one this is.
Like, okay, listen. 2017, 2018, I was reading nothing but contemporary. Then I got really into paranormal and historical and monster romance, obviously, and I really, like, dove deep into that and completely forgot about contemporary. I was like, nah, I don't even want to read contemporary. The thought of it just turns me off. So I put Icebreaker by Anna Grace on my list.
The hockey one?
Because to me, I really loved it, okay? Like, it was like, it was just what I needed at that time. And it made me, kind of brought me back the joy of like reading contemporary, where it's just like easygoing stories with fun characters, like a fun cast of characters. And it's just like, I don't know, like, and it was hockey romance, which like I haven't dabbled with sports romance in forever. So anyway, it's just like a series of things that just aligned perfectly for me at that moment, and it kind of made me realize like, hey, maybe I'm missing out, you know, maybe there's like more contemporary romance that I should go to. And I don't know, I personally really enjoyed it. I don't see what Seth hated about it. I mean,
Seth.
she hated it. She DNF'd it.
I DNF'd it. Does it show me when I stopped? Oh yeah, at 32%. Okay, so it's so bad. I was like, and you lost me at oh shitting fuck. ...
Oh shitting fuck was what made you.
It was like the straw that broke the camel's back, guys. I just like, I couldn't like, I didn't like the writing style, and I know I'm an anomaly. I know a lot of people love this book and I love the writing. But for me, I couldn't, not that I couldn't relate to it. I just didn't like the writing, and I found it like, I don't know. I just felt like for me, it was like I fell trapped to like a TikTok. Oh my gosh, this book was amazing. And I personally didn't like it. So, but it spoke to you.
I didn't know it was a TikTok sensation. I had no idea. When I picked up this book, I had literally seen only one person talk about it, and it was over on Instagram. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You were the one who told me like, oh yeah, it's this, or maybe it was Sab. Anyway, someone told me, oh yeah, it's this TikTok book.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like,
No.
How come I've never, I mean, I don't have TikTok, so that probably explains that. But like, I had never heard of it. So I thought it was this rent. Well, I mean, maybe now I do.
Took you long
Maybe
enough.
now I do. See, you should thank Modazushu for me having TikTok
Thank
as
you,
well. Okay.
That for Marge getting TikTok. But okay, no, I will say I love that it spoke to you in a way that it didn't for me, and I love that you read a contemporary book after years of not reading one. So it's great.
Yeah, you know what else I should say about my reading in 2022, and I'm preaching that as well in 2023. I have learned to read for fun. And what I mean by that is I no longer read with the expectation of it being the best book ever.
Yeah.
I don't read for quality anymore. I read for fun. And I feel like that also opened up a whole new world for me, because it's like, let's read bonkers as shit. I know I'm not gonna like love it, but I'm like, it's fun. I just want to have fun with this. And like, it sounds good. Let's spend like a day or two reading this, and then we'll probably never think about it ever again. But I had fun. That's all that matters. Like, I literally do not care about quality anymore. And it is so freeing. It's so freeing. Anyways. So that was that. You know, it's on there because I really enjoyed it. And, you know, contemporary. I'm a contemporary romance reader now, apparently. Anyways, and the last thing on my list is kind of the book that explains the whole phase that I'm now in. Basically, thanks to Facebook, I am now a part of a group that will be my downfall. In fact, I'm pretty sure it has already been my downfall. Like, it has happened. I am here. It's called It's Kinks and Taboo, I think, or something like that.
Oh, I know that group.
Yeah.
My downfall. Okay, for the past, I want to say like month and a half, I've read only Kink. Only. Because the recs in that group are good. And like the way people pitch them, I'm like, yeah, that sounds fun. And like I said, like I literally just said, I'm in my fun era. Okay. I'm like, yep, let's jump into that, because why the fuck not? So anyway, it's making me read all sorts of things that I literally would have never picked up before. Like, I'm kind of pushing myself because of this group, because this book, which like the last book on my list, Fawned by Winter Prior, I'm not sure how to pronounce their name, but it's pet play.
Oh.
That is a kink I didn't want to read before.
Right.
Like, ever.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, not my thing. I can't imagine it. I can't, like, I don't, nope, not doing it for me. But then I found this book in that group and I read it and I really enjoyed it and it was so cute. And basically, like, it's set in college and you have our main character whose name I actually can't remember, but like that's not surprising. I can't remember names ever. But anyways, he's really cute. He's like this sweet guy, very kind, a good boy, you know. And but he's never had sex and he needs money. So he makes a little bit of like dare with his roommate where it's like, okay, whoever has sex first, because his roommate is also virgin, they're like, whoever has sex first gets $100. So he's like, okay, like, I mean, I do want to lose my virginity and I need the money, so like I'll do it. And there's this like resident manslut, I don't know what else you would call him. He's a bit of a goth, he's like a bit of a loner, but he's, you know, he's known for having a lot of sex and having kinky sex, and everyone's like, oh, that's kind of a rite of passage, you know, he's kind of a bit intense, but like, you know, he will have sex with you. So my main guy is kind of like, well, I'll go to him because, like, I mean, who else would I go to? So he goes to him and they, you know, have their first time together and it's hot and heavy and it's great. And but they kind of like really connect, but it was like the one time. And then he goes back to his roommate and is like, well, I did it, here's where, like, where's my money? And then the roommate is like, are you actually like asking for the money? Like, are you like, I like anyway, it's like this whole thing where like poor guy feels bad because he's like, he was actually like, he thought it was real, but it wasn't actually real. Like the other one's like, are you actually asking for money after sex type thing? Anyways, long story short, it's really cute. They reconnect, they start, you know, sort of trying out different things together, and they end up with pet play. And the main guy, he's a fawn and he's his pet fawn. And anyway, it is actually surprisingly really hot.
Really?
And like really cute. Yeah, I was not expecting this book to be as hot as it is, but like it was hot and it was cute. So anyways, and that, you know, is kind of what started out or kick-started my whole phase of MM kink. So like I'm back in my BDSM era.
Great. Love
which,
that
like,
for you.
I have not had one of those since 2015. Like literally all these years you would have told me like, oh yeah, this BDSM book, I was like, that's the fastest way to make me not want to read a book. And here I am reading about sadists. So next catch up and chill honestly might very well be just like nothing but MM kink. And sorry about that.
That's fine. Should we get into things we're looking forward to in 2023?
Yeah.
The first thing is Boys of Belrose series by Jamin Eve and Tate James. I just finished the first book, and I'm not going to say too much because I'll save it for the catch up and chill.
Okay.
But it's a mafia / rock star reverse harem.
Oh.
And for some reason, like, I read the description and then I read that, and I'm just like, like, how is that gonna work, you know, mafia and rock star?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I ended up really enjoying this book. And yeah, I'm obsessed, and I can't wait for the rest of the series. There's gonna be 4 books, and they're releasing a month apart.
Okay, so you don't have to wait too long.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. I also have The Crown of Oaths and Curses by Jay Bree.
Yeah, that's on my list too.
Yeah, it releases March 28th of this year, so I'm pretty excited. It's an MF romance.
Right, yeah.
I believe it's high fantasy, found family, enemies to lovers, forced proximity.
I think she also said tail, like there's a tail.
Tail play?
Tail
Probably.
play. Yeah, I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. Also have Salt Kiss by Sarah Simone. It's a queer, kinky, contemporary romance retelling of the legend of Tristan and
Isolde?
Isolde.
Oh, wow.
And I believe it's going to be an MMF.
Controversial opinion, but I believe that story is way better than Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I agree. 100%. The movie gets me every single time.
There's a movie? I didn't know about this movie.
Yeah, with James Franco and
Oh,
Henry Cavill's
yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
no, I
movie
don't think
makes me cry.
It's
Yeah.
so good. The music, like the background score, is so good.
Haven't seen it in a while though.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And then I also have Forget Me Not by Julie Soto, the author
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
that's a Raylo book.
yeah, the author of The Auction, the Germania
Yeah.
fic. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's a wedding planner / grumpy florist.
Yeah, that one sounds good.
Is he the florist or is she the florist?
I think
he's
is.
the florist.
He's a florist and she's a wedding
That's
planner.
hot. That's hot.
I know. I'm so
I can't wait
excited.
for
And the
that.
cover's gorgeous.
Yeah. Tattoos.
Yeah.
Man bun.
Yeah.
I also have the Barbie movie. Pretty
Oh,
excited
really?
for that. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for like the costumes, the outfits,
Yeah.
and yeah. Okay, and then the last thing on my list is The Last of Us, the show that just aired yesterday. I watched the first episode and it's
He looks-
really.
She
freaking
watched one episode,
Good.
put it on her list.
No, it's really good. I swear, it's really good.
I heard it's really
had, like,
good.
I had really bad anxiety that 1 hour I was
Yeah,
sitting
see,
there
I can't
watching.
And that's good? You want to feel that?
Yes, because I wasn't touching my seat. Something that gives me anxiety, I'm like actually wants me like to sit down and like watch it. Like that to me, that's good. It's doing its job.
Yeah.
See, I want to watch it because I love Pedro Pascal, but I honestly, I don't know if I have it in me because I've heard like the horror stories of the show. Like people are like, oh my gosh, once you hear the clickers, you're dead. Like it's so scary.
Yeah.
But then also emotionally it wrecks you. And I don't know if I have
Yeah.
another emotional wrecking in me.
My
I've
sister was
had enough.
bawling her eyes out yesterday.
Yeah,
She was bawling. Yeah.
I don't know if I have it in me. And it just gets worse, I think, from the first episode onwards.
Is that it? Is that all your...
Yeah, that's all on my list. Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's pretty short because you've already mentioned the Crown of Oaths and Curses, and then you mentioned... Actually, no, that was it on my list that you mentioned. Okay, so the first thing on my list is Sinners Atone by Somme Sketcher. So this is the fourth book in the Sinners Anonymous series, and that is Gabe and Wren. So the author announced, I think last month, that it's going to be a two-parter. So it's going to be 2 books for this couple because it was too much of a story for her to condense in one book. So I'm excited. At the end of the month, she's releasing, not releasing, but she's telling us when the release date is for the first book. I just need it. I just need it now. And then I also have The Syndicator by Runyx, which is the last Dark Verse book. And also, I think it's Draconera by Runyx as well. So that's her dark fantasy that she has planned. I don't know when those books are coming out because she doesn't have a release date right now. But she did say she's aiming for 2023, but we'll see. I'm ready for whenever they do come out. Then also on my list is the next Zoe Draven Brides of Kylor book. So that's going to be book 2 in her new series. Excited for that. She released a little snippet that I thought I saved it, but I didn't. And I was like, this makes me excited. I think it's like the hero had called her ugly or something like that, like in his mind. But obviously, a few chapters down the line, he's going to be like, she's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. I'm ready for it. And then Zoe Draven also, I think, is planning to release her spin-off series for the Horde Kings. So I think she's aiming for a late 2023 release. I don't know. But I know she's aiming for that one to come out this year as well. That's about it.
Okay, mine is pretty short too because I'll be honest, I could not remember for the life of me what is releasing in 2023, and I also feel like there's probably tons of things that I will be excited about that just haven't been announced yet.
Right.
So there was that. But I put, surprisingly enough, I put the Queen Charlotte show on my list because I'm just like,
Oh.
listen.
Right.
I didn't want to be watching. Like, I had no interest in this show until I saw that teaser.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, maybe. So, and I do feel like I'm kind of feeling the loss of Bridgerton in my life at the moment. Like, I just need something, like, extravagant and colorful. So, and I'm guessing that season 3 is not releasing this year, so probably just the Queen Charlotte show.
Yeah, I'm getting that feeling that it's not this year. Not that I care. I don't really care for Penelope and Colin.
Yeah,
so.
me either. But by the time we're there, I'll probably be like, I need a fix. So
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yes.
Anyways, so, I'm looking forward to that. Like, I'm just going in with no expectations, and I'm hoping to get my heart ripped out because Lord knows all those guys die. So
Not
fun.
die, but like, well, yeah, they do
Well, I
actually.
mean,
Lady Danbury's guy dies.
Violet's husband
Oh,
dies.
yeah.
Lady Danbury is the widow, and then I mean, we all know he's gonna die.
The poor
eventually,
king.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, then I put the Hurricane Wars by.
I totally forgot about
is it Thea?
Yeah.
Guanzon? Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that because that's a Raylo fic that's oh god Land with the Blur
No,
of
and the
Conquerors.
landscape. Oh shit.
Landscape with a Blur of Conquerors, right?
Yes.
Something like that. So it's basically that fic that is being traditionally published. So I'm looking forward to that because I never got to read the original. So that will be fun. And then I also put another Raylo fic, which is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine.
Yes.
Which sounded just like a fun rom-com where like Kylo/Ben is like a vampire, and anyway, it just sounded fun. And you know what? Like I said, fun is all. I'm all about the fun right now.
I read that one as a fanfic and I loved it, so I'm excited for this one.
Oh, so see. And then I also put Dishonor by Wren because it's actually like a completely new to me author, but it's supposed to be like a dark, and I don't speak Japanese, so Yakuza romance. So basically like the Japanese mafia.
Oh.
Which I've been meaning to find books sort of set like around the Japanese mafia. So that one sounded really interesting. I think there's a grovel in this book. So anyways, looking forward to it.
Her Ruthless Warrior is also, I believe.
Yeah.
Yakuza.
Is also yeah.
Mafia.
And then like the last one, it's mostly just it's Doves and Demons by Clio Evans. Mostly just because it's reverse harem steampunk, and I put it on there just like because I'm looking forward to reading more reverse harem. Like obviously I've discovered it last year and I found a couple ones that I really liked. But I feel like I haven't like really read a whole lot yet, so I'm hoping to kind of get back into it this year and find more to like. So that's my list. So my questions for you are, first off, because we haven't really talked about this, but I wanted to know if you guys have, like, if you look back at the year that we've had, do you have a like favorite episode that we've recorded this year, last year, or like one that kind of sticks out to you as like I had fun recording that?
One that's really stand out, I think, would be our Raylo episodes. I mean, I guess Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah, because I think it was a fun experience in the sense where like S got introduced to Raylo, which is like a really big part of our lives. And it's just like, it's great to see S, excited about the same things we were and just hearing her perspective on things.
Yeah.
And also like for me personally, like revisiting it, but like also seeing it after, like, I guess after The Rise of Skywalker. So that was interesting to see, and also seeing if my perspective changed a bit, and it technically didn't. It just made me feel more like, I guess, not possessive, more
appreciative,
I guess.
No?
Of Raylo. Like I keep it close to my chest. Like I just feel like it's something I'm protective about. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, that's a good one. I really enjoyed recording that. Like, it was a lot.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun to revisit it and like see it through the eyes of someone who's not like,
enriched. Yeah.
Who doesn't love it as much or like wasn't as used to it as like, and I feel like we kind of like put on our like 2015 hats for a
Yeah.
lot of it, and it was just fun to like go back in the past and act as if like we don't know what's going on.
No, but I
Yeah.
also feel like we were more so like we were in it with like the lore and like the behind the scenes type of thing where like S isn't like wasn't as like into that sort of thing. Like she wasn't a part of that. Like you weren't a part of any of that as the movies were releasing or even afterwards. Like you didn't go searching. So it was interesting to see like your perspective.
But I think it has one of my most favorite moments from S,
What? When she
which
watched
is
What did I
the Rise of Skywalker episode where I read the excerpt from the book.
Yeah.
It's
where
just
he
my
gets
favorite-
hit by a robot or something like that? Or he gets hurt?
No, where he's like crawling to her, and it describes
yeah,
like
yeah.
how much pain he is, and like she's dead, and like
So
blah
the
blah
part
blah.
where I was crying.
It's my favorite moment of yours because you're like, why would you do that?
No, my favorite thing though about that whole process was that she skipped The Last Jedi completely, and she's like, I think I might have watched the wrong one.
I can't believe I did that.
That was
that's right.
hilarious.
I
I
don't
watched
know.
them out of order.
Yeah, it was just fun to see you being like emotional damage. Like, who do we sue for this? And I
Yeah.
was like, it's fun to see you in our shoes, like
Yeah.
of what we've been through,
Yeah.
but like live. Anyways, that's right. What would be yours, S?
I think it would be that one for sure as well. Because I feel like
Yeah.
I stepped out of my comfort zone and like
Yeah.
actually watched something that I normally
Right.
wouldn't have done it like by myself. I don't think.
Unless you got nachos.
Yeah, nachos.
Yeah, I think for me, the episodes that stand out are definitely the episodes where we like looked at TV shows and media more so than the books. I mean, let's be real. We didn't do like as many episodes this year as we did the previous years. It was busy, okay? But I feel like what we actually put out are things that I'm quite proud of, and that I feel like we had solid discussions, and like we took time, and like it was longer episodes, but it was worth it just like for the conversations that we've had. And so I feel like the Bridgerton episodes come to mind just because like they did so well for us, and I think like
Right.
it brought us so many new listeners, which is great. But I'm proud of those episodes. Like I think we did a good job of like, you know, doing that like overlook / like review of the second season. Obviously the Raylo episodes as well, for the same reasons as you. And I mean, obviously I would also say like the love between fairy and devil episodes, just because I think it was a lot to undertake. Like it is 36
Yeah.
hour long episodes that we somehow managed to make it through. Like I'm quite proud of us for that, because I don't think when we started we realized how much time it would take, and just like they were huge episodes and there was so much to keep in mind, and like obviously there's like a language barrier there, and anyways it was quite tough, but we did it and I'm proud of the result. I mean, that first episode is,
Oh, it was
you
a
know,
shit show.
but
And I will always apologize. I'm sorry. That was just the
yeah,
best.
first episode was a shit show. We'll, you know, gladly admit that, but I think like we improved after that, and you know, we went back to our ways, our regular, you know, organized selves, and it was smooth sailing from there, pretty much. So yeah, I'm proud of us for you know, taking on something so big, and again, like it brought us also a lot of new people, and I think like because of this, like I think we are looking into other shows that we would like to sink our teeth into, like other, you know, C dramas or K dramas or whatever. So yeah. Now for the fun questions.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, so if you had to use 3 words to describe, basically I want you to find 3 words to describe your 2022 reading, and then I want you to find 3 words to describe what you want your 2023 reading to be like, and we shall revisit those
Oh,
when we come
gosh.
to 2023, 2024.
These are questions you should have Sent
No, because
off
I
way.
wanted it to be more like off, like just like whatever comes to mind.
I need like 3 to 5 days to think about this one. You can't spring like questions like this up. Like you can't do that to me.
Do you want mine?
Yeah. Let's go with
Sure.
yours
Okay.
first.
So for 2022, my 3 words would be bonkers, impulsive, and smut.
Oh.
I read a lot of smut. And it was very impulsive. And it was quite bonkers. So those would be my 3 words for 2022. And then how I want my 2023 to be: keeping it fun.
Oh. Yeah, that didn't help me though.
I feel like S's are easy. It'd be like something like Hermione, reverse harem, and no?
Yeah, for sure.
Mine
like-
was a well-balanced list. Well-balanced list.
Wow.
Because I had like good monster fucking, I had great contemporary romance, I had mafia in there, I had aliens. Like
Mhm.
it was just a really good list of books that I
Okay,
read last
well
year.
balanced list. That works.
Yeah.
S, you're missing words there.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
another.
2023,
Yeah.
more monster fucking? No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
I mean, that works.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I read a good amount of monster fucking last year. So, I mean, I'm always down for more monster fucking, I guess.
it could be literally like really good year. Reading a lot.
I know what mine is for 2023.
What is it?
Finish the book.
Finish what book though?
All the ones that I
She
started.
has a lot of
finish
books to finish.
finish that book.
Finish
Finish
the
whatever
book.
book
Finish
that
the
is.
series. You got it
That's good. That's a good one.
for sure.
Got mine. Bountiful books, bitch.
Okay, Miss Ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, guys.
Bountiful.
Bountiful.
Bountiful what? Bountiful books, bitch.
Yeah.
Bountiful book, bitch.
Yeah, I want to read bountiful books.
Bitch.
Bitch.
So we're still stuck on Hermione, reverse harem, and
and disappointment, because there's a lot of books that I read that I thought I was gonna love, and I was very, very disappointed.
oh, okay,
So
fair enough.
Hermione, reverse harems, and disappointments.
Okay.
That sounds like the title of one of our episodes,
It does.
like a quack or something. Okay, could have been like Raylo, but whatever. Guess not. Guess
It
it's
It
disappointment.
was an intro to Raylo, I would say.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough. But I will say your 2023 words as kind of lead into my last question, which is any bookish commitments for 2023, or because we failed
Not
each
one.
and every one of them.
Not one. I don't have any because I did not read Pack Darling. I never did.
Yeah, and I did not read, what was it, Whitney, My Love.
Yeah.
And S is still stuck on her 2015 commitment. So.
No, I am gonna have a commitment, because I am gonna finish all the books that I said I was gonna start, and finish all the series that I did start and just didn't continue. 'Cause
Okay.
There's quite a lot.
Keyword here, realistic keyword, all. Not one, not two, all of them. She's finishing all of them.
Yeah,
I believe in you, S. Don't listen to M. I
I
believe
can
in
do
you.
it.
Guys. Okay.
Miss
fair
Negative
enough.
Nancy over there, we don't want her.
Thanks for the support, Steph. I appreciate it.
Well, I'll be looking forward to Best of 2023, where we see the commitment has been failed.
Okay, whoa! She will succeed.
Listen, I know I'm the same as. Listen, I've started too many series as well that I never finished.
Yeah.
It's just story of the life of a reader.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, anyways, so those were my questions. We will be revisiting this conversation. In the meantime, Happy New Year once again. I hope your reading thus far has been plentiful and fun and that you've loved it. Hopefully, I mean, maybe this list has given you a couple more recs or not. So, I mean, sorry. You just listened to like 2 hours of us for no reason. But anyways, we had fun. We had a lot of fun this year. Hopefully you enjoyed the episodes that we've put out. More to come, obviously. And as usual, if you want to, chat with us, if you want to tell us something, or yeah, I don't know, like let us know what were your favorite books of 2022. You can do that as well. Feel free to reach us online. You can always find us on Instagram at Romancing the Monsters Podcast and on Twitter at Romancing the Monsters Pod. No, the RTM Pod. And you can also email us if you want to at romancingthemonsterspodcast@gmail.com or TikTok, Romancing the Monsters Pod. Disappointments.
See? My year.
No, I think that was like for me.
Anyways, and is that it? Did I mention everything? I think so. If you're looking for me specifically, you can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Foes and Lovers.
And you can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at But This Book.
And you can find me, Seth, on both Instagram and Twitter at Pros with Woes.
And that's it. See y'all soon, I guess, with an episode that was probably recorded like 2 years ago.
No,
in fact,
don't say that.
I know that for a fact. To be honest, I'm gonna try and make sure that the next episode that is put out is the episode that Steph and I recorded literally a year and a half ago at this point, probably.
Oh my. What?
The Black Dagger Brotherhood Book 2
Oh my gosh.
episode. Yeah, so in case you didn't know that, listener, we did record Book 2 and 3 of that series, Steph and I, and I never put them out. They're old now, but, I'll put them out anyway. That will be the next episode for sure.
Okay.
So, you have that to look forward to, I guess.
I promise our
yeah.
content will not be that old.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, moving forward, I'll try not to. So, yeah. See ya.
All right. Bye.